Hey y'all, this is like a random thought slash like it's like a testimony of mine, I guess you could say. But it's like something I've been questioning for like some time now. Alright, so this is I guess this is like a story time. I don't know what to call this, but whatever. When I was a kid, I was over my aunt's house. Um, I don't know when or how I got this weird scar on my stomach. It was on my lower right side. It was on the lower right side of my stomach, and it stung in pain, and it was like irritated. The scar was like black. It looked a bit charred, right? And now that I'm thinking about it, it's sort of like like how they brand a horse or some shit. I don't know. Keep that in mind though. So as I was growing up, I constantly had weird and unusual stomach pain as well as joint and muscle pain. Um, so when that started happening, I used to tell my mom, like, yeah, I don't know what this is, but it hurts, da da da. So, as a kid, I'm just wanting to know what's going on. So she takes me to the doctor. Like, she takes me to the doctor a couple of times just to see what that issue was about, outside of just regular checkups. But every time we went there, every diagnosis came up negative for any serious joint or muscle illnesses, anything that, that could be a red flag, right? And I seen it too. I seen the shit myself. So, yeah. Over time, I've noticed that I've been having weird weight loss and weight gain. Mind you, since like from high school up until like my early 20s. I guess somebody don't want me to say this, but my phone had cut anyways. So yeah, like I said, mind you, um, since like high school up until like my early 20s, I stayed the same size. I was like 95 to 96 pounds. Like my weight never dropped or it never, I never gained weight. But like, you know, by the time I was like 21 or something or 20, yeah, by the time I was like 21, I was trying to gain weight. So it took me a few years for me to gain weight. So by the time I was like 20, 22, 23, I started gaining weight. And I was up to like 110, 115 or something in between that, right? And back then, I don't even want to say back then, but whatever. But I was like healthy as a horse. I was like healthy as a motherfucker, bro. I was healthy as I don't know what. I had nothing weird going on, right? So during my early 20s, it was like, yeah, like there was nothing wrong with me. It was like I was on top of my game. Um, but it was like as soon as I like met this person, it was like there was something that was trying to brag. Well, someone did brag about some things, okay, but anyways, it was like something was trying to drag me down, like as low as possible, right? Making it hard for me to get through the simplest tasks, like anything, right? But when I turned 20, when I turned 24, yeah, when I turned 24, that's when I started. It was like I felt like I was tapped in or something. It was like I felt this. It wasn't like it felt weird, but it was like I couldn't understand it. So yeah, and this was like I went back to school or whatever, and it was like when I graduated. Well, it was like I had already finished up with the school or whatever, and this was like during the part where I was about to like get my cap and gown and stuff like that. So then it was like that's when my and then also that was when I was dealing with this. I was in this relationship. It was a very, very abusive relationship, and basically I saw 3:03 on the clock. But anyways, this relationship pretty much, it did what it did. It did what it was supposed to, which was, it was like that person had some type of thing attached to them, like some sort of demonic attachment that pretty much tried to latch itself onto me, right? And around this time is when I had just had like started my spiritual journey. So I had started, like I had, like it was like I was starting to see a lot of repeating numbers, and I was like coming across a lot of videos on YouTube and stuff like that. And I just, you know what I'm saying, started my tarot journey as well. But anyways, that's when I really started to see through the veil, okay? I really started to see that person, because at first I was blind. I was blind to my own emotions. Like, I mean, basically, like, I let this person do any and everything to me, no matter if it was abuse or not. It was like I was really, really blind. So I like dropped a lot of weight. I was depressed, like never ending depression. And it was like the more I was around like negative people or negative things, or it just, a negative environment in general, it made me sick, like literal sick. Like I didn't understand like why that was happening. But I did notice that when I would, like, yeah, in school and everything too, like, it would be like kids that, because I was always like I was always like, you know, I was a loner. I mean, but I was like, you know, I did know people in the schools and stuff like that, all the schools I went to, but I just decided to stay alone because I don't know, for some reason it felt like I couldn't trust nobody in the schools. And I noticed that I would get sick a lot around these negative people, like people who used to pick on me and stuff like that. I would get sick. And I'm like, it's kind of weird because it would just be a random thing that happened. Like that'd be like a stomach virus. And then the thing is, like, everybody's eating the same thing and no one else got sick. It was like I got sick because I was around certain people. So yeah, it's like I've been doing a lot of reflecting, and it's been making me feel like I have always been tapped in since a kid, but I just didn't realize it because there was something, some sort of entity, either it was people, whatever, but they were trying to keep me from seeing my truth and seeing who I was and how strong I am. You feel me? So it's like, if you feel like there's someone that you shouldn't be around, like you get anxious around this person, or you get nervous, or if you get any type of weird feeling when you're around someone, that should tell you something. Your gut is trying to tell you something. That is your intuition telling you something about this person. Okay? So, and pay attention to what people say. So if you're around someone and they're talking about killing all the time, or they're talking about shooting people, or like physical harm to people. I'm not talking about like people standing up for themselves, like for protection. I'm talking about people who seem like they seek it out, like they want to do this. You feel me? If they talk about stuff like that, they're not for you. And they have some type of demonic attachment on them. And so you should stay away from these type of people as possible, because you will find yourself like being spiritually drained, or sometimes physically harmed by these people, or sick in some type of way, right? And I'm gonna speak on health in another video. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna speak on some on health. All right. That that may be the next video. I'm not quite sure, but I'm gonna write it down so that I remember. So that you know, yeah, because I feel urged to speak about these topics. All right. So, um, if this, I feel like this was like an intuitive message for someone as well. Um, so I hope that this made you understand a few things about yourself as well. If there were some things that stood out to you or resonated or something like that, and if you had already figured this out a while ago, pass this message on so that you know. I mean, so that you can pretty much let people know that they're not crazy, that they aren't just going through things for no reason, that you feel me, like, yeah, like just they like give them reassurance as well if you decide to pass this video on. Okay, so yeah, stay tuned for the next video, guys. All right.